bringing you law, gospel, and guns. This is Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hi, folks. Welcome to another episode of Armed Lutheran Radio, a show about guns, hunting, competitive shooting, the natural right of self-defense, blah, blah, blah. You know all the rest. I'm your host, Lloyd Billye, the Armed Lutheran, and this is episode number 308. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for making Armed Lutheran Radio a part of your week again this week. This is our online hangout for April 2022, brought to you by the awesome men and women who make this show possible, some of whom you have met before and some of whom you will meet again tonight. The members of the Reformation Gun Club. Got a special shout out tonight to Samuel from Milton, Washington, Annita from Old Fort, Tennessee, William from Bentonville, Arkansas, Jeff from Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, Jason from Medina, Ohio, Robert from Bothell, Washington, John Nielson, Jerry and Billye from Deer Lodge, Montana, Michael from Janesville, Minnesota, and our newest member, who as of this show joined us just today, David from Kennesaw, Georgia. Thank you all for your support. And if you would like to join these fine people, join us for our future hangouts, get access to hundreds of hours of exclusive content, and our eternal thanks for your support. Visit armedlutheran.us/gun club. Or click on the link in the show notes for this or any of our previous episodes. Let us bring in our awesome guests here. The pistol packing padre himself is with us. There he is.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Busy.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Well, I went through working 1 day a week all these months, and now that it's Lent, it's 2 days a week, right?
Right. Till next week.
Yeah, I think I have to work 3 whole days next week.
3 whole days. Good heavens. I'm going to get Mia in here as well. She is joining us. Or her cardboard cutout. I'm not sure which. And let's see. Dan Veldt is with us. And there he is in his cardboard cutout. There we go.
Hey.
Howdy.
And there's Mia.
Hey, Mia.
Hello.
And Dan Rushing from my old home state with us again. How in the world is everyone? Now I'm gonna go around the horn, and I'm gonna start with hey Daniel, how are you?
There we go.
There. I'm gonna go around the horn. We're gonna get started with the pastor because he has got family plans tonight, and I want to make sure we can spend a little time with him before he has to leave us. Pastor, how have you been? What have you been up to since last we were together?
Been running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
That season.
Yes. No, I'm doing pretty good. I haven't managed to get sick yet, so usually that happens after this Easter morning services are over. So hopefully I don't get sick this year. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, it's just been busy. I've got confirmation coming up on Sunday, and
that's right.
So yeah.
What's you were showing us some libation in the glass. What's happening this week? Of course.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yes. You've spoiled me on that.
Canadian whiskey from Oregon, so I don't know how that works.
It's still good stuff.
Yes.
Basketball season finally wrapping up, or
Oh yeah, that's done. But both girls decided that they wanted to play spring soccer, so and they're on different teams.
Of
Go
course.
figure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Mia, what have you been up to? You have been busy. I have been seeing all kinds of stuff from you. What what was that, the video you did?
I've been cooking up feline predators.
I like that
recipe.
one. That looked delicious.
Bobcat chorizo.
It really was. With all of the anti-hunting propaganda and such, we are preparing ourselves for some anti-predator or small game hunting, probably ballot initiatives didn't make it in past the deadline, but next year. And somebody told me, well, why do you shoot a bobcat? You don't eat it. So I figured I may as well give it a try. And it was pretty good.
Nice. Excellent.
Awesome. So we're in addition to doing all the prep for the legislative stuff and running the ranch, what is your day like running the ranch there? It looks fun, actually, but it also looks like a lot of hard work.
So it actually is fun. It's work, but it's not something that I complain about too much. I actually enjoy getting out and going to feed because it's kind of a break from sitting in front of the computer trying to punch out an article or something like that. And here lately, it's been hard to get people to respond for interviews, for articles and stuff like that. So it's definitely welcome to go out and see the funny farm or do different things outside.
Good deal. Pastor, you're sneezing. Are you coming down with something after all?
No, just allergies.
Bless you, by the way.
I managed to hit the mute button before I started blowing, so.
Welcome to spring.
Yes.
I've got year-round allergies, but this time of year it's worse than others.
Yeah. Mia, what you were talking about all the stuff that we were drinking last time. Did you bring anything with you this time, or did you?
I have tea.
That'll work.
Nice.
That'll work. Love the mug as well. Dan Veldt, what's been happening with you since last we saw you, and what are you imbibing this evening?
Well, lots been happening. Been working hard, been training hard. I got to train with some really great people last weekend. Tonight I'm drinking some Knob Creek rye that I really love. Actually, I finally bit the bullet, pun intended, and got my dies for my 357 SIG. I've been carrying it for a couple of years, and I finally got some dies to reload all the brass I've collected.
You might as well. I imagine that's 357 SIG was expensive before, if I recall correctly. It's probably it's
more expensive now.
Oh, sure. Everything's insane now. What is it? What is it running around now? For just
I don't know.
Oh,
I haven't bought 357 SIG for a year. I bought
stocked up before.
Enough a while ago when it was relatively inexpensive, and so I've been able to shoot that, but I need to start reloading it because it's a lot of money to buy it these days.
It really is.
Does 357 SIG, does that take the same bullet as a 9mm?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
More powder.
Right.
Basically a neck down 40.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You need to trim the cases a little bit, but yes, that's essentially what it is.
We always, whenever we had an IDPA match, an indoor IDPA match, there would always be one guy who would show up with a 357 SIG, and it was just absolutely mind-wracking when you'd stand next to the guy, and even with your ear pro, everybody's double plugged and ear pro on. It's
good for another 300 feet per second. So
it's a jolt. Yeah.
It feels the same as a 9mm or anything else. It just in the platform that I shoot it in, it feels about the same.
All right. Daniel, how about yourself? What have you been up to? We saw you at the last Hangout. Refresh my memory what you do for a living and what have you been up to since last we were together?
Yeah, I'm a construction manager. Right now my gig right now is the healthcare industry. In this area, Charlotte, North Carolina, it's Atrium Health and Novant Health. And, right now I got like a medical center that has, multiple disciplines in it, multiple practices. Mm-hmm. There's a sports medicine practice in there, OBGYN, a general practice. And there's an orthopedic practice in there also.
Generally working on big facilities like that, or is this unusual? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is. At the end of the day, I'm a business and industrial man,
Right.
The people I'm working for now came looking for me. And so I said, the healthcare business, it might, my father used to say a change of work is just like a vacation, and then he'd throw a shovel at you and point you toward a sand pile, But it's, it is pretty interesting. It's like you get to know what the behind the scenes thing is in the healthcare business.
Gotcha.
Some of it's really cool. Some of it's scary.
I imagine. What's on the plate for you tonight? What are you partaking of?
Oh, well, I kind of been doing a Lent thing. And so, I haven't bought a bottle of whiskey, since February.
Gave up whiskey for Lent.
Yeah. Well, the idea is it's like a luxury.
Right.
Okay.
I got you.
And, okay. So, but this is like one of our North Carolina products. It's Sierra Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
IPDA. And, that's what we're enjoying this evening.
Good stuff. As you might know, or if you've seen previous episodes, Moscow mules are my favorite. They are out of favor anymore. No more Moscow mules. So
is it called a Kiev meal now or something?
This is a Kiev meal.
Kind of like freedom fries instead of French fries back in the day.
This is Kruto vodka. This is distilled in a 100-year-old distillery in central Ukraine. So it's imported from Ukraine. It is the smoothest vodka I've ever had. And the owner and the company headquarters are here in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So,
what's it called again?
Kruto.
Kruto.
Kruto. And I think it's krutovodka.com tells their whole story.
Well, I'm making a note of that right now.
It is a 300-year-old Cossack recipe, they said.
I will Google it later.
Pastor, give us a kind of a preview of what your coming week is going to be like. Maybe I know you usually write your sermons on Saturday. What are you thinking is the theme for this Sunday's sermon? I can't remember what the yearly lectionary tells us that the readings are, but
yeah, no, this coming Sunday it's Palm Sunday, so the text for Palm Sunday of Christ riding into Jerusalem. One of the emphases that I like to bring forward with that is, you read through the Gospels, and on at least 3 different occasions, and that's considering parallel passages in the various Gospels, at least 3 different times Jesus specifically tells his disciples, we're going to Jerusalem, and when we get there, I'm going to be crucified. And Luke 9 verse 51 or 52, it says that he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem. He would not be deterred, that he knew the kind of suffering that he was going to endure, but he deliberately embraces that for the sake of our salvation. No, it's our human nature when we are faced with even something as much as a uncomfortable social setting, we will try and avoid that, let alone something such as severe pain and suffering. We will do anything we can to avoid that, but Jesus, no, he embraces it. So, but this coming week,
Lutherans won't even sit in the front row of the church. So, yeah. We avoid the uncomfortable stuff like crazy.
Now, I have a theory about that. Lutheran heritage back in the day, that in speaking the German tongue, that if a person got a little too animated, a little too excited, the preacher, there might be a lot of spittle involved with speaking the German language. And so the first few pews are empty because no one wanted to get wet.
I like it. It's
kind of like a Gallagher show. Right. No watermelons, though.
Oh, Gallagher show is totally different.
You wanted to get wet with those.
People they would come to the show in the front row with their plastic sheeting thrown over themselves.
Yep.
We have a strange aversion to that, and the old, what is it, the sharing of the peace. Have you ever been in one of those churches where the pastor says, turn to your neighbor and say a good morning or whatever, and it's just the most awkward.
They still do that in Durango. That's why we go to church in Farmington.
Lutherans change churches to avoid sharing. Yeah,
we don't do that at Willow Creek.
Yeah, that's one that, and there's tons of jokes about that, about Lutherans and
and
we do that at our church
since COVID, so they probably don't do it anymore.
Use it as an excuse. Now we just don't do it anymore.
Yeah, we do it before and after the service without being told to do it in front of everybody.
There you go.
Jesus is watching. You better shake hands.
That's right. Fist bump for Jesus.
There's
right.
In our church, it's called passing the peace.
Passing the peace.
Passing the peace. Okay. And then, over the years, there's been a volume of inside jokes about passing the peace. And rather colorful, not always wholesome.
Gotcha.
Well, hey, if you're armed, that can mean something totally different.
Right. You do the whole the side hug things with trying to avoid hands on the inside so that they can't feel the firearm. Hey, Richard is here, and he has not been with us before. I don't think. Let's see. We have another guest.
Hey, Mia, I'm curious about the bow that you were fondling a few minutes ago. Wasn't that a bow that you had?
Oh, no, actually, it's my camera and a tripod.
Camera tripod.
I got excited about seeing the bow.
I noticed it sticking into the frame on the thing, and I just got back from filming a gentleman in Pagosa Springs, and still have mud on it and everything, so I didn't want to set it on the carpet, but I thought it looked kind of weird sticking out over here, so.
No worries. No worries.
I'd like to see you go out hunting cats with a bow. That would be phenomenal.
You see us hunt with bows?
Pardon me?
Do you,
to see somebody hunt with a bow, or?
No, to see someone
cat.
hunt cats with a bow.
Oh, I have friends that have shot their mountain lions with bows. I shot my mountain lion with a handgun. But yeah, archery hunting is fun. And I haven't shot a bobcat with a bow, but coyotes and stuff like that.
It's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, folks, I got to bow out. So good to see you all.
I'm glad you were able to spend some time with us, and have a good weekend and a blessed Sunday. Enjoy your time with your family, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you, and a blessed week to you all, and blessed Holy Week, and a blessed Easter celebration.
Absolutely. All right. There we go. I don't know whether Richard, can you hear us?
I can.
There you are. All right.
Oh, there he is.
How are you?
Doing great. Sorry to be late.
No worries. I'm trying to remember where you are located. Tell us where you're located.
Wichita.
Wichita.
Yeah, Wichita.
So what do you do for a living, and what have you been up to lately?
I'm semi-retired, and so I have time to enjoy reloading and shooting at an indoor range.
Ooh, I don't even remember the last time I shot. It's horrible. I have been hoarding ammo like crazy because I cannot imagine firing a gun right now. I have so little ammo, and I can't think about where the bullets are going for worrying about how much it costs coming out of the barrel. And
Exactly. I'm fortunate to live within driving distance of Powder Valley here in Kansas, and so
wonderful.
Keep some components in stock.
Nice. I now, for the last 2 years, regret wholeheartedly having given up reloading. I had no time to do it. I sold all of my components. I still have my press, but I don't have any components. Well, I maybe have 1,000 bullets, but that's it. I've got no primers. I got no powder. And now you can't find it anymore without spending an arm and a leg. And I remember spending $28 for 1,000 primers at one point and thinking that was a great deal. And I can't imagine what it costs now. What is reloading costing you these days?
Primers are $70 when you can find them, maybe $79.
If you can find them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Powder is, it's 30-ish, $35, $38, $9. And you can find it, but it may not be what you want. It may not be your preference. You have to make do.
Right.
Bullets are pretty reasonably easy to get.
Yeah.
Or make.
Yeah.
What are you? You're not on camera, so you can't show us. So tell us what you're imbibing tonight. We've gone around the room and told everyone what we're partaking in. Mia's got tea. Dan's got some whiskey going on. Daniel's drinking an IPA. And I've got a Ukrainian mule. So what's up with, what are you doing?
I'm dry at the moment.
The one dry person.
Not participating right now.
All right.
The last hangout, I had to turn off my camera and run and grab something real fast because I felt like I was left out.
I remember. No social pressure here. We're not pressuring you to drink.
Well, it's only tea, so.
Yeah.
Well, drink something, water or whatever.
There you go. Doesn't necessarily have to be alcoholic. So, Richard, I'm going to ask you and Daniel. And Dan, I think I've heard this story, but I'll save yours for last because I think I've heard it. But starting, Richard, with you, since you're new here, how did you hear about the show? And what got you interested and made you a regular listener enough to want to actually support us?
I was searching through the various podcasts and probably latched on that way and enjoyed many great episodes. And having been a lifelong Lutheran, I thought, well, hey, this might be something to this. I like both of these things.
There you go. Got it.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay. Wichita. I'm trying to think who is close to you.
I'm out in the boonies.
You're out in the boonies. Okay. So I was trying to think if there's another member maybe that's close to you, maybe if that might have been some influence, or if you guys know each other, but I can't think of his name at the moment. Daniel, how did you hear about the show, and what got you interested and kept you coming back?
Well, there was several weeks where, I had to, we were bidding projects for Windstream, okay? And so, I made this pass through Georgia, touring Windstream buildings that are falling down.
Oh, gosh.
And, so I said, it's, okay, well, we'll look for a new podcast.
Right.
Okay. And, I looked, the Armed Lutheran. Oh, this has got to be good. And the logo.
It is.
I mean, the logo is terrific. So, and then, so I said, okay, we're going to try this. Turn this on. And then, what really got me hooked is pastoral pontifications.
Oh, those are the best.
Those are very good.
And that kind of hit a chord with me. Okay.
Good stuff.
I'm a lifelong, I'm a baby Episcopalian, okay? And
Richard, I'm going to have to mute you. I'm going to have to mute you because we got some feedback from, if you've got some headphones, try putting those on, or earbuds, and then unmute. Not you, Daniel, Richard. Your voice was coming through his audio. So yeah.
Okay.
So you were raised in Episcopal?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not a mystery, the apostasy worldwide in the Anglican commune. It's like I've been asked to do a thing in church on prophecy. Okay, now if I don't get thrown out of there after this, that was it. I was basically podcast surfing and run across this, and I'll do this.
Glad you found us.
Yeah. And then, we're all IDPA and USPSA shooters. Yeah.
Right. Where do you shoot? Do you shoot in the Charlotte area? Do you shoot over at Mecklenburg?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. That's one of them.
That's where I got started.
Is it? Yeah. Around here, we're blessed with matches of all kinds. There's something going on every Saturday and Sunday. There's Fallen Steel, Steel Challenge, USPSA, and
Nice.
IDPA. As well.
That's where I learned the cardinal rule over at the Mecklenburg Wildlife Shooters was shooting is a privilege. Taping is a
requirement.
Requirement.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
come on out and shoot, but you better tape. And if you don't, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah, my first love is the rifle. You know, I don't know how I got started in these pistol matches. You know, probably just a bunch of friends. You know, oh here, come on,
come try this.
Yeah, let's try this. But you know, I've been a high power shooter. You know, since 16 years old. And, you know, been to Camp Perry a bunch of times.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's all fun stuff. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you start down one of these paths, you know, yeah, this is cool, you know, high power rifle shooting with the Marine Corps, you know,
right,
and stuff. But then you end up, you have these lifelong friends, you know, because of it.
Yep.
You know, in exposure to our military.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you find out, it's just, man, God, these are real professional people, you know. I mean, these are top drawer individuals. You know, the people in the Army Marksmanship Training Unit. And
yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Those guys are a whole different level. When they show up to matches, will open your eyes. There's another group of professionals that occasionally come out to matches, Sergeant Bill being the exception to the rule, who make you wonder a little bit about how much time they spend behind a gun. I will never forget. I think it was the last match that it was the last, it was a classifier that I went to. We'll get Richard in here in just a second. There's a classifier that I had I needed to get to go shoot the state championship in North Carolina in 2013. And we're standing out on the line and it's the old standards, the 72 round standards, you know, and it's the first three stages or first three strings of the first stage are basically just draw, shoot a few rounds, put your gun back in the holster, and then you do it over and over again. And let me get Richard back in here. So there he is. There's Richard. And he's in this reloading room. That looks awesome.
Cool. A lot of Dylan stuff.
So I'm standing there watching this guy go through this whole, you know, draw, shoot, reholster, and he is a sheriff's deputy, and he's got all the tactical stuff going on, and he is getting ahead of the instructions of the safety officer, and instead of waiting for the command to reholster, he's just, you know, showing clear, reholster. He is getting way ahead because he thinks he knows better. And about the third string, he puts the gun in the holster with a piece of his jacket in the trigger guard.
Oh!
And fires a round down the leg of his pants.
Oh my God.
Thank God he did not hit his leg, but he blew his iPhone all to pieces. The bullet came out right next to his right foot. It's the safety officer was patting himself, trying to check and see if he had been shot, because gravel went flying and hit him, and he thought he'd been hit. And the guy was super embarrassed, and he's like, "Oh no!" So he got DQ'd, obviously. And he's like, I'm fine. I'm going home. And they were like, "Oh no, you're not." And they sat him down and cut his pants off to make sure he was okay. And sure enough, his phone had exploded, and there were shards of glass in his leg. And they were like, and he was just going to walk it off and go home because he was so embarrassed. So you see every now and then you see these guys who they're police or former military and they have not shot competition, and they come out and they do things that are a little iffy, a little kind of questionable. And unfortunately, I've seen too many police officers come to IDPA matches where they'll just get smoked by some, kid with a mullet and skinny jeans on, and they won't come back.
And a high point.
Yeah, well, usually not. Usually the kid with the skinny jeans and the mullet is running a $3,000 Caspian or something. He is serious about what he's doing, and these guys think just because they carry a gun every day that they're good with it, and it hurts the pride a little bit, and they don't come back, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The fact that everyone was okay makes that absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, there was no laughing at the time. We were all it was like pucker factor for about an hour after that. And then that's hilarious. I cannot believe that just happened. Mia, you don't do any competition, but you do lots of instruction, particularly with women. You do archery instruction. What kind of advice do you have for folks who come to these things to put the ego aside and listen to the instructor? Because obviously there's lots of folks who come out to these, whether it's a match or whether it's training, and they can't leave the ego at home.
Oh yeah, and just listening to you tell that story, I'm headed.
Sure you've got lots of stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's that time of year. I head down to Texas at the end of the month to teach. And last year, I'll be down there for 2 weeks. But last year, I was in Grand Junction, Colorado at A Girl and a Gun. And I had a mother-daughter duo that showed up for class. And the classes were larger than I had requested. They're definitely, when you're teaching, I request a certain amount because I can't keep an eye on everybody. And archery it's the safest sport there is. Like archery in the schools program is the safest sport, but also it's because we have rules and so forth. And there was a mother-daughter, and they were in an advanced archery. They already knew how to have their own bows, and they competed and all this and that. And we were doing an intro hunting. And when I teach hunting, it's quite a bit different than competition. And the daughter got to goofing around and caused the mom a misfire with her bow, which thankfully everything was safe direction and all of that. But it was the same thing, like their faces and everybody. It was like, Mia's super nice until she's not very nice. And it was like, range is sold and everybody's done. Like, we were having fun until
step away from the line.
Oh, yeah. It can happen with archery too. For the most part, everybody is usually pretty good, but that's just when you were telling that story, it was that ego and the confidence of we compete and we do this. And it was something every other station at A Girl and a Gun is firearms, live fire, some hand-to-hand stuff I think they did. But that was something that those ladies were definitely familiar with, and they came with their confidence and they made mistakes.
Ooh. So. What's the funniest, not so funny thing you've seen without mentioning anybody's names?
Funniest, not so funny thing. Well, I guess kind of like Dan said, you can laugh at things when you know nobody's been hurt. But in hunter ed and in archery, I always teach people don't draw a bow back without an arrow in it. And somebody that I know had their arrow drawn. And as I said, when we're practicing hunting scenarios, you practice like with full draw for a lengthy period of time so you can strengthen your muscles and stuff like that. And my daughter and I were watching, and it's like, we'll have you hold until we say you can shoot, because it's kind of like a scenario you have to hold until the animal steps out in front of you in some cases. And we're like, hold. And then all of a sudden, both of us are like, stop. We like didn't know the words because we saw the arrow, the knock on the back end of the arrow had broken. So the arrow had fallen off the string. And with a compound bow, especially for men, you're shooting over 300 feet per second. And with a 75-pound draw weight, it's a lot of weight. And that energy has nowhere to go if there's not an arrow in there. So the energy goes back up into the cams and wheels and limbs. And it's kind of hilarious if nobody gets hurt and if the bow explodes. People think that that's a joke, like the bow will explode, but really they do. And you can YouTube videos about bows. It is only funny because nobody was hurt.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
And because we didn't know what words, we're like, wait.
Stop.
So with you, I did not know that essentially what you're talking about is dry firing a compound bow will actually
That's
damage.
Exactly what it's called.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And really, even a long bow or a recurve bow, if you dry fire those, the energy goes back up through the string into the limbs, and it compromises the integrity of the bow, and eventually they will break.
So over time, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But one time with a compound bow can be catastrophic. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day here on our.
So funny, not funny, but
funny, not funny.
we laugh now.
It's funny when someone else does it.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money if you do that because those compound bows are not cheap.
No,
imagine not. Good heavens! All right, Dan, your turn. I think I've heard this story. How did you of the group that's here? You've been listening and you've been a member the longest. How did you find the program and what attracted you to it?
I heard you talking with Paul Markle on Student of the Gun.
Oh.
And I have a great deal of respect for Paul Markle and Student of the Gun and what he does. And I listened to you and I thought, holy smokes, you have a podcast? I got to check this out.
You sure it wasn't more like, you have a podcast?
Well, it was something.
Okay.
Anyway, I listened to it, and then I heard the pastoral pontifications and everything else, and I thought, all right, this is right up my alley. This is what my passion is, which is self-defense, church security, and just normalizing gun ownership. And you fulfilled that over the years. So I continue to listen, and that's where I heard about you.
Awesome. That's awesome.
But I'm one of the oddballs. I'm not a Lutheran, but I am a Protestant, so I think that's close enough.
We had we had at one time as many as two non-Lutheran contributors on the show. Mia and Pastor Bennett and I were the only ones. And we had a Baptist and a Catholic, so now we're down to just a Catholic. We're weeding them out.
Well, Lloyd, at my church, it used to be if you took a Baptist and a Catholic and rolled them all together, that's what you would have, okay?
Right.
Okay, but, you'll all remember the news of a few years back, and certain bishops come out of the closet and stuff like that and had a big blow up. And so...
What's the joke that if your Catholic friends think you're Baptist and your Baptist friends think you're Catholic, then you're probably a Lutheran?
Oh, that's funny right there. Yeah. That's funny.
I've got tons of somewhere around here. I've got a whole list of you might be a Lutheran jokes, so I might break those out for an episode at some point. What your icon on you do a lot of training, Dan. Your avatar, not icon, your avatar in social media is you on the range. What any funny stories you have to share from range time? Without revealing change the names of the innocent for the sake of whatever.
There are absolutely no funny or embarrassing things on the range involving me.
Okay. Yeah,
I just want to make that clear. because I would never repeat them or make them visible to anybody. People do stuff. But most of the people that I help out at the range, they've never touched a firearm before. They're completely green. They are curious, obviously, about firearms. They want to get involved in being able to provide themselves with self-protection. But, they not only have they been told that, guns are dangerous, guns are scary and everything else, but they really do have kind of an adverse reaction to firearms. So they don't really know what to do. And I am not going to mention any names, but I tell you what, one of the things that comes up most often is everybody is good when we sit down and have classroom discussion and we talk about, this is what we look for, this is everything else. And then we do dry fire. How do you make sure that the firearm is clear? How do you make sure that the firearm is safe? When someone hands you a firearm after they just cleared the gun, what is it that you do? Well, of course, you clear it yourself and double check it. So a lot of that is on safety. And most people really go through that just fine. And then you put them on the line and they rack the slide just like they've been practicing, and a live round is in the chamber and they get visibly shaken. I get it. That's fine, because they finally got to this point that they were so afraid of. And I see that regularly, but we walk through it and we just do all the things that we just did through dry fire and everything else. And then lo and behold, they're asking if they can load up another magazine. It's a matter of getting over that hump to where, I'm not this gun guy or gun girl or anything, and I'm not going into competition. I just want to be able to manage a firearm and be able to maintain a firearm so that it can be effective for me. And watching them get to that point where they're actually, oh my goodness, comfortable holding a firearm that's loaded in their hands, putting it in a holster and being able to have it readily available. Getting over that hump is a big deal for a lot of people. And it's really exciting, fascinating, and rewarding to see people get over that. Now, whether or not they carry a gun or they keep it locked up in a safe or whatever they decide to do, that's up to them. But watching them get to the point where they're actually okay with a gun that has a bullet in the chamber and safety's off, all I got to do is pull the trigger, they're comfortable with that. And that's rewarding for me. I really dig that. I like helping people get over that hump.
Mia, that probably speaks to your heart a bit. You do a lot of. Have you seen an uptick in training since COVID and all the craziness over the past couple of years?
I think it's partly because people have more time, or they had more time. They weren't at work all the time. But just Dan talking about that story there, just last weekend, of one of our friends' wives, she's been, with all this transition stuff, she's been having to travel a lot more by herself for work. And there's crazy people out there, and it seems like people are more crazy than ever. And some of the stuff I've talked about on the show, she's experiencing weird things at gas stations and stuff like that. So she came over to try a bunch of our handguns and see what she liked.
Nice.
Because of course, she had the little Smith & Wesson 38 Special that seems like so many people think is a woman's favorite gun. So we let her shoot a bunch, and that's kind of cool, like you said, just to see their face when, like she started with one and we progressed to different ones, and it was like, nope, I don't like this, I don't like that. And then when she found the one, it was like, hey, can I go back and shoot that one again? And It's fun.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Let me give you a full magazine.
Of all my ammo.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I know, and part of the reason I asked was that I remember seeing Aaron Israel post on the Book of Faces recently. He was actually thinking about getting back into the instruction game because there's so many people interested, and so many new gun owners, and so many people interested in gun ownership now, especially with the crime and the kind of the climate in the country. Have you seen that uptick for that reason? Not just the COVID, I've got time to go train now, but the interest because things politically and socially are kind of awkward now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just that social, the drug problem is huge. And the people that you run into at the grocery store parking lot, that are approaching you unwelcomed. And that's something that I actually have a segment that I need to upload for you talking about stuff like that. So I'm not going to spoil it by telling you about it right now.
Yeah, we ran across one of those. Volleyball season is wrapping up for our family, and tomorrow we're driving an hour and a half to the final volleyball tournament of the season. And we went down to Dallas about a month ago to a huge regional tournament, a 2-day tournament at the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Center. There's 42 courts going with 4 teams on each court, all at the same time. Absolutely insane.
Wow.
The closest we were able to park was a half mile away. We were lucky at that. And it was right down the main drag from the center and past a McDonald's. And when we got there at 6:30 in the morning, it was all well and good. It was nice and sunny. It was comfortable. Well, we didn't expect that the girls would go play as well as they did and get as far as they did. And we came out at night and walked that half mile on the way back. And that was completely different.
Different world.
A whole different world that living in a rural area like we do here, you don't see. And by the time we got to the McDonald's, there's a homeless dude pushing a cart through the street. There's a guy standing out in the road singing and dancing to music that nobody can hear. And we're, it's me and my wife and our daughter and
your daughter.
And thinking that because I've been to events at Kay Bailey Hutchinson before, you can't take a gun. And it turns out we could. So second day I had a gun, but I needed it the first day. We angled our way around behind the McDonald's to get to our parking lot on the other side. And coming out of the back of the McDonald's, there's an elderly couple, and they're being pursued and harassed by another homeless dude. And it's just like, I can't get away from this. And what do I do? And that is a huge eye opener about and that's not just because of the way things have, I mean, it's been that way for a while, I'm sure. Getting out in that real world for once, I'm sure opens a lot of eyes. It did for me, and I've been kind of in this whole gun rights world for a while, but that was a real eye opener seeing it up close. Okay, that's enough of that.
No, well, hey,
no
that's a thing.
Nope. What happened? I'm the only one who is not frozen. Uh-oh. My terrible story froze everyone, and I wonder if y'all can hear me. I see Dan's microphone moving, but I cannot hear.
There he is.
The host just came back.
Yeah.
The host fell off the chair.
All of you froze. We did that episode, was it sometime last year, about the Great Disconnect and about talking about options for ways to ways to protect yourself online. And one of the things we talked about was a VPN. And my VPN just died. And that's what happened.
Oh.
Everything
Ouch.
froze and I could not access the internet at all. And I'm sitting here like, everyone's frozen but me. Oh,
And we were looking at you like, Lloyd's frozen.
Yeah,
Is he okay? Do we need to call 911?
And so,
You got to get a free month out of them.
yeah, exactly. Look what you guys did. You created a joke on my podcast. That is one of the downsides of, and I've been meaning to kind of do another kind of follow-up episode to talk about some of those things that we talked about to protect yourself and your online information. There are some downsides, and that's one of them. In addition to having lots of MFA, the multi-factor authentication, and all the click on the pictures that are buses and click on the pictures that are boats, because they can't figure out where you are because you're on a VPN. You get lots of that stuff.
Absolutely.
But it also will kick you out every now and then if the VPN server disconnects, and you'll lose connection to your
Has a
meeting.
little tantrum.
Exactly.
But I do like VPNs.
I do.
Everybody ought to use a VPN. They're
Absolutely.
cheap. They're easy. Use them.
Richard, unmute yourself real quick and tell us a little about the reloading setup you got going on there. We haven't talked to you a whole lot. I want to hear what it is you reload, and that is an awesome looking setup.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
using
there you go.
that's a Dillon 550, and it's an older model, but it is set up for 223 right now,
Nice.
and it does a fine job. You can make accurate rounds.
Excellent.
Yeah. And there's another Dillon there. There's another Dillon over there. So we seem to have multiplied somehow.
You're drinking the blue Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Right.
And each one set up for a different caliber, I guess.
Yeah, I got a 45 auto and a 9mm and the 223 right now.
Okay.
So whatever mood, you know. You got to have some bullets, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, what is the competition or hunting or just plinking and self-defense? What is
Or personal training.
Or personal training?
Yeah.
What's the motivation for each?
Yeah, I started out, I had to reload because I was competing. And that was the only way. Back in the day, we shot police combat, which is PPC.
Right.
Some of you guys might be old enough to remember that.
Man, I'm still doing it.
That 38 special with wad cutter ammunition.
Yes, sir.
And it was great fun. But to afford to shoot more, you had to reload. And it became a hobby after that, so pretty well addicted. Now it's not like I go shooting, so I have something to reload.
Yeah. Making me wish I had kept up with my reloading. I relayed the story earlier, and since the pandemic started and the prices went up, the ammo shortage hit, I have regretted getting rid of all my components ever since. All right.
Well, Lloyd, the good thing is there's the boomers are.
My VPN kicked out again. I need to turn this off. Okay. Let's see if I can disconnect my VPN.
I cleaned the guy out. Powder, bullets, 2.3, 38, 9mm, 45 caliber changes, and all the accessories for $800.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, Jesse James, right? So it's just kind of keep your eye open and keep that little stash of cash back,
Hey, my stash is up to $50 now, so I'm trying.
And I always heard when I first started reloading, there was the talk about how much you can save by reloading. It turns out you really don't save any money because you just shoot more.
Well, your cost per round, that's what you're looking at.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Well, guys, it's been an hour here, so I guess we'll wrap it up here. What are your Easter's coming up next week? Let's go around the horn and kind of share what if you got any Easter traditions that you're looking forward to this coming week. And Daniel, start with you, and then we'll work our way around from where I don't know how you can see, but from where I'm sitting, we'll go kind of counterclockwise. Daniel, Richard, Dan, and then Mia to finish it out.
Say something, will it mess up the order on your screen?
If I get disconnected, it probably will.
Generally, I'm on duty all weekend, have, services. I'm part of all of that, the chalice and endless things.
Right.
But COVID, we're just recovering from the whole COVID thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, the bishops were all on board with, oh no, masks. Oh no, social. You can't have more than 10 people in a sanctuary at a time. Well, we're recovering from that.
North Carolina was late in recovering from all the COVID restrictions.
Yeah. Me and my wife are going to Savannah. Yeah, for
Holy Week, just to get away.
Yeah. Me and Mary are going to Savannah, and we'll duck into service down there somewhere.
Very good, awesome. Richard, how about you?
This year is a little bit different. We're going to be able to drive out to Denver for one of my grandson's first communion, and spend the rest of the weekend with them. Monday, Thursday, they do that, I guess, at their church. It's in Franktown, Colorado, but they're close to Denver.
Nice. Well, have a safe trip. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Dan, how about you?
Well, first of all, I think I need at least 2 attaboys for wearing the same T-shirt as the host. I have the nice
Dan, attaboy.
There we go.
I will be attending services that I was introduced to 2 years ago, where we celebrated Jesus Christ coming into Jerusalem and remembered his crucifixion together, all of us. 2 years ago, a lot of churches weren't doing that. And I had someone contact me and say, hey, we're going to have these services. And if people want to wear masks, people want to separate, it was all groovy, didn't matter. They just wanted to celebrate and they wanted to observe everything. And gosh darn, it's a multi-denominational group that is really fun. So I've learned to appreciate them, and there's some wonderful people there. So that's who I'll be spending time with.
All right. Mia, how about you? Can Mia hear me?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Glitched out right when you said who's next.
You're the only one left.
You're up next.
So when it's Christmas, Richard, I go to Trinity Lutheran in Franktown, Colorado. But for Easter, I'm at home. So I go to the local church here for Easter. And then after church, we host the biggest hunt of the year. We hide like 1,000 eggs, and we invite like 80 people over, and we have a potluck and visit with
I want to come.
It's kind of like the first springtime bash of the year. So it's really fun. And hopefully the weather will be good, because we have had years where it was a blizzard and snow and we had 2 inches of mud in the living room, but it was still fun.
Oh, man.
And so one of our listeners hopefully will be there, because he's RSVP. So I'm hoping to see one of my old pastor there.
Nice.
And Richard was thinking he would try to be here tonight. Richard Boland.
When you said Richard, I was like, oh, wow. Oh, Richard.
We had two Richards who said they were going to come. And when I saw Richard W., I knew exactly which one was not going to make it, because he was asking questions like, well, I don't know how to use this Zoom thing. So we were trying to help him out. And somebody, I think it might have been Daniel, was it you that responded and gave him some instruction on how to get us connected? Hopefully he can make it for a future one. Richard Boland is
Absolutely.
the Reverend Emeritus at your church, I believe, and he's a contributor to Duty to Defend, if I can figure out where my fingers are right there in the background. And there's a conference. I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to mention this. There's a conference coming at your church, I believe, there in Pagosa Springs. It's secret, being put together by Reverend Brian Flammy out in New Mexico. It's he is the former vicar for Brian Wolfmueller back when he was in Aurora, Colorado, and he is going to be contributing to the next edition of the book. And he
Excellent.
putting on a conference about, I think, security and safety and kind of navigating the difficulties of a digital world as a Christian. So that's looking forward to maybe get up there to Pagosa Springs in June for that. That would be cool. And I'll be swinging by if I can find you.
Are any of you going to NRA?
Where is NRA this year?
It's Memorial Day weekend, and it's in Houston.
Oh.
And I haven't decided if I want to go or not, but I do know it was fun to see you guys when it was in Dallas.
Yeah, that was cool. I haven't gone to NRA in a while since then, actually.
Yeah. And
I have mixed feelings about NRA since all of the revelations about their financial crap and as long as Wayne LaPierre is there, I'm not giving them any money. One thing that if you want to come to Dallas that would be fun is Gun Rights Policy Conference.
When is that?
Yeah.
That is October 1st. It just happens to be my wife's birthday, so I'm not going to be there for the first day. They always do that.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
It is.
She would want to go.
And the day before, the Second Amendment Foundation and our network host something called AMCON, the Alternative Mass Media Convention, which is a podcast, YouTube, alternative media conference where we kind of have presentations and we share ideas and we get to mix and mingle. And it was a lot of fun. Got to meet some really awesome people like Bob Main, people like
Nice.
Ken Blanchard and Rick Ector and Cheryl and Danny Todd.
Excellent.
So just really cool people. And that is, I want to say that is September 30th. And then the Gun Rights Policy Conference is the 1st and the 2nd.
That actually might work. That's in between hunting seasons.
That would be awesome.
I'm going to look it up.
We can hang out, and I'll see if I can drag Sergeant Bill with me.
There you go.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And it's a lot of fun to get together and spend a little time and not necessarily talk about horrible things going on in the world. There's plenty of that. And I thought about discussing some of the current events, and I thought, you know what, the heck with that. Let's just have some fun. And maybe this is how we'll do it from here on out. And unless, World War III is upon us again.
Don't say that out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
Say that out loud.
Take it back, Lloyd.
All right.
There's plenty of wonderful things that we can talk about.
Exactly. And it's been a blast. Thank you all so much for being a part of it. And I will talk to you guys next time.
Hey, have a blessed Easter.
And you as well. Thank you. Folks, if you have any comments or any questions about anything that you've heard us discuss here tonight, if you would like to be a part of this, if you would like to, how did I do that?
At least you didn't disappear.
At least I didn't disappear. That's true. Now I'm just going through and everybody's showing up except for me. How am I doing that? Slowly but surely, everyone will be gone but me. There. No, it's still not working. Now I'm seeing Dan and nobody else. How am I? I have got to get control of this show. I have lost control.
So I can do a closing for you.
All right. Take it away. You've heard enough episodes. You've probably heard enough. You could probably do it yourself.
Oh, great. I'll tell you what, join the Reformation Gun Club. You can do it for as little as $1 a month, and you will get all the benefits that we have to offer. So check it out and come on board.
Well done. Sign me up.
Well done. All right. So, folks, if you have any comments or any questions, if you would like to be a part of these shows and see me noodle around with technology badly, then let's see here. Let me get this. It's asking if I want to report to Zoom. No, I don't want to report to Zoom. Oh God, I just reported Richard.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Go pick him up. Go pick him up.
Yeah.
Wait, there's somebody at the door.
There we go.
And it reloads some more.
There we go. All right. Don't report to Zoom. Now it's finally back to me. So if you would like to be a part of these shows in the future, if you would like to join us, if you'd like to help support the show, just to say, hey, we appreciate what you're doing and want to see it continue, visit armedlutheran.us/gun club. Look for a link in the show notes for this or any of our previous episodes. Come and join us for as little as $1. I think it's now $1.26 for the lowest level. It's $15.17. Haha, Lutheran joke there. $15.17 per year. Come and join us. We try to do these online hangouts once a month, and we would love for you to join us. Until next time, keep shooting, keep praying. We'll talk to you next time. Have a good night and a happy Easter.
For show notes, be sure to visit our website at www.armedlutheran.us. Check out the Facebook page, The Armed Lutheran, or join our Facebook group, Fans of Armed Lutheran Radio. If you like what you hear, please leave us a comment on our feedback page at armedlutheran.us/feedback or a review on iTunes and let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Armed Lutheran Radio, a member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.